This conference
So
will now be recorded.
today we'll discuss about a new concept, which is conversion project or migration project. So conversion or migration from ECC to S4HANA. So in S4HANA, we have three kinds of project. Now we also have a fourth kind of project, which is called as upgradation. But usually in S4HANA, there are three kinds of projects, that is new implementation, system conversion, and SLT, server landscape transformation or SAP landscape transformation. So new implementation is a greenfield implementation. So from day one, that is for either already existing SAP customers or legacy customers, non-SAP customers. And the deployment choice here is either on-premise or cloud. This is for new implementation. And when it comes to the migration project or system conversion, this is only for already existing ECC customers, or that means SAP customers. Migration can be done only from ECC to S4HANA. If it is a legacy customer, then it is new implementation. And even already existing SAP customer, if they want to go for cloud, even that is called as new implementation. SAP existing customer and cloud option. Because in the conversion project, it's only on-premise. There is no cloud option in the conversion project. Okay, it's only for the new implementation, the cloud option. So conversion project is for already SAP existing customers, not only ECC. This can be the old customers as well, like 4.6, 4.6C, 4.7, ECC 5, ECC 6, even for the old customers as well, not only for the new customers. Because we can migrate only ECC to S4HANA. Okay, we can migrate only ECC to S4HANA, but not the older versions. If your customer is still on very old version, maybe like in the 4 or 4.6, or it could be any version. If customer is on very old version, then first we need to bring them onto the ECC, which we call it as a two-step project, which we need to do a Unicode conversion that will be done by technical consultants, and then we migrate it. Right? So we'll discuss that all. But at the highest level, migration project or conversion is only for already existing SAP customers, and the deployment choice is only on-premise. Okay, there is no cloud. If already existing customer want to go for cloud, then that's considered as a new implementation project. SLT, server landscape transformation, is consolidating your landscape. As we know earlier, we have hundreds of systems. You don't need all those things, so you could consolidate. You could ERP system, region 1, 2, 3. You would consolidate everything into a single system. Right. Now, today we have one more project. This is not there until 2020 as well. That is upgradation projects. The customer, because SAP has stopped support for 2016 version, that is 1609, SAP has stopped its support. So all the 1609 customers has to upgrade to the latest version 2021. So this is new projects what we are seeing now in the market, that is the customers even being upgrading from the S4 HANA version to version. Right. So these are the different kinds of project what we'll be seeing in the industry. Migration. What is the activity? What is the activities of consultants in migration project? And if we put it in a percentage, let me tell you what percentage it goes for every module, the highest areas. So migration project is of the major activity in the migration project is technical consultants, ABAPers. Let's say you can put 40% for technical ABAP, because they need to check the system and they need to check whether this particular existing system can be migrated in one step or two step, multi-step, and they need to also check whether the existing system, like whatever they have, maybe it is some Z reports or any developments, enhancements, whether they can bring the same into the S4 HANA or not, whether it could be, or they check for the business functions, they check for add-ons. So there are tools actually. We'll see what is that. So your technical consultants would be having a major role initially until they install the S4 HANA system. Once the installation of S4 HANA is done, then the next activity is FI. And wherever you see, even the migration cockpit in the system says you are converting an accounting system. Nowhere it will talk about logistics. The project is all about migrating your GL. Okay. So another 40% could be of FI. Right? The first major activity of the technical consultants, and the second major activity would be the finance. And as I've told you, this is also considered as the migration of GLs. The complete logistics part, maximum that comes under 20%. All the logistics, SDM, MWM, whatever it is. Now you can imagine out of that what would be the SD percentage, what activities we have. We have limited activities in a migration project. Okay. So we'll discuss what exactly this, but we'll come through the process like what happens here and everything. So when it's a migration project, your customers may not be that ready as SAP is excited to get into the new version, right? SAP might have come up with new versions every year or every quarter in the cloud. The clients would not be that much interesting immediately to upgrade because there will be lots of activities to be done. So you'll be reluctant. So first, you go for any project. There are a couple of questions what you'll be facing from your customer. So these are the questions what your customer would come up with. That is, how much SAP HANA I need. That's nothing but the database. That means what is this? What should be the system configuration? Okay. So how much HANA they need, 1 terabyte, the t-shirt sizing, what we have seen, right? That kind of thing. Then are my add-ons compatible with SAP S4 HANA? Now, anyway, we don't need to much worry about these questions in the 2021 version, but initially until 1909, because see, like the most successful version is 2018. That means after the first three versions, 15.11, 16.10, 16 on, 16.9, 17.9, then 18.9 is the successful version. Okay. So until then, customers are not so interested or excited to migrate to S4 HANA because they're worried like what exactly is HANA, whether it is a reporting tool or it is it's a database. Okay, that was clarified. It was a database, but why would I go and jump into S4 HANA? Why do we need to upgrade, right? So in the initial version, there used to be a checklist as well. After 2018, we are not using that checklist, but I'll just tell you what is the purpose of the checklist. So this checklist has do's and don'ts. That is when to migrate to S4 HANA and when not to migrate to S4 HANA. So when to migrate to S4 HANA. So when to migrate to S4 HANA, that is if you want a new reporting, because S4 HANA is not good in reporting, right? Earlier it was not that good at reporting. Unless you need mobility, because now we have Fiori, right? And where you have consolidated all the modules and everything is on a single system. So there are various reasons why you have to migrate to HANA, saying that you can use all the latest functionalities and everything you could have a hybrid integration with the cloud, many things. But there is also checklist when not to migrate. So what is that when not to migrate? That is, let's say if you're a monopoly in the business, maybe a government agency, your customers don't expect anything advanced or you don't have that much of demand. Then why would you upgrade S/4HANA? What is the need? There's no purpose, right? Or else you just implemented your SAP in 2013 or 14. Maybe later after 2 years, SAP has come up with S4, and immediately after 2 years, you have spent time, money, and again, why need to upgrade, right? Or else you upgrade servers at least. If you're not in new implementation, you already spent a lot of money on the servers. You don't need to migrate. So there used to be a checklist like this: when to migrate, when not to migrate. So that's where customers also get lots of questions like, are my add-ons compatible with SAP S/4HANA? Add-ons means it could be business function, sorry, it could be IS modules, and it could be new dimensional modules because you are using a CRM for your front end, or if you're using GTS for your imports and export. So if these particular modules are not on S/4HANA, only for ECC purpose, you don't need to migrate, right? So are my add-ons compatible with SAP S/4HANA or not? What Fury apps are available for me? What business functions are affected? SAP provides 100% function. Whatever SAP has to provide, SAP provides that 100%. But in the business, in the ECC, we may not be using all the 100% functionality. Because as we know, every business like SAP doesn't suit 100%, maybe 60%, or you can put it as 70%, not more than that. So we switch off certain business functions. Okay, whatever is not our requirement, what we do, we switch off those functionalities. So now customers are worried whether the same functionalities work in S/4HANA or not. Okay, so the best example is material ledger concept. Material ledger, whether, see, in the ECC, material ledger is an off function. If you have a specific requirement, then only you activate it. If not, in ECC, it's a off function. But when it comes to S/4HANA, material ledger is a always on function. Okay, it's a always on function. So there is a change at business functions. So customers want to know what business functions are getting affected. The next is, what are the relevant simplification items? This is anyway in S/4HANA. So what simplification items are relevant for my business? Then will my custom code work in S/4HANA? So these are a couple of questions what customer would be coming with, and this all could be answered. We have tools. That means these all questions will be answered by the technical consultants itself. I told you right that 40%, this is what they do. They run some tools, they pull the reports, and that's how they initiate or kick off the project. So it starts with technical consultants first, analyzing the existing system of the customer, because we can migrate only a Unicode system. Okay, yeah, we can migrate only a Unicode system. So first, it starts with checking the system requirements, whether it's a Unicode or non-Unicode. Unicode system is nothing but it's a NetWeaver Java dual stack system. So that is a Unicode system. We can only migrate a Unicode system to S/4HANA. That means ECC system to S/4HANA, not the any other systems. So first it starts with the Unicode conversion. If your customer is pretty old, Let me show you. We recently got one project. Maybe this should be. Yeah. So this is a very recent project which we did as a independent consultant. So you could see here the customer is still on 4.6C. You see the old version, 4.6C, right? So first what we need to do, we need to bring this customer onto ECC first, and then you see this is considered a global greenfield implementation to replace SAP 4.6 to the other legacy system. So it starts with the system requirement, first checking what system customer presently is on. And if it is the older version, first it starts with the system conversion, bringing the customer onto the Unicode system. That is only ECC EHP7. And then later we have activities. What are the activities you see? These all are technical activities, nothing to do with the functional. So when it comes to the migration, like, let's also see. Uh, this is just. Let us also see, like, what is the deployment choice, when you need to go for implementation, when you need to go for migration. See, there are many slides here. You could just check. Maybe later you could check them. Like this is conversion versus new implementation option when you need to go for. Then next we have deployment option when you need to go for a deployment option. So this is a deployment choice when to go for cloud and on-premise. And you see in the on-premise you have three projects: new implementation, system conversion, landscape. But here system conversion is missing in the cloud. Right? So various things you could see here. And as I told you that reports, right? Yeah, let me talk about reports now. So your technical consultant will start with the project, and the technical consultant will run a couple of tools. What are the tools? These are the tools: maintenance planner, pre-check analyzer, custom code analyzer. These all are tools, and simplification relevant database. So once they run these tools, then we get the reports, right? So this all will generate some reports, and based on that report, the call will be taken, what all to retain and what all we have to migrate. So this is how the project conversion phase and everything will happen. You could see here. So this is how it happens. So these are tools. All the spanner symbols, what you see here, these are the tools. And until here, this is an ECC system. You could see it's a ERP system sitting on either any database or SOH system. Doesn't matter because SOH was only until 2013, SIT and HANA. Then after it was migrated to S4 HANA, right? Before that, it was SIT and HANA. So your technical consultancy is running for maintenance planner. And what do they check with the maintenance planner? They check for used business functions, SFW5, that's a transaction. And they're checking for used business functions, and they're checking for add-ons. Add-ons is nothing but you have any new dimensional module, or you might be using Vistex or anything it would be. And they're also checking for the IS modules, industry solutions, right? Whether they are available or compatible with the version which you want to go with. Because SAP has come up with this with the migration like this. You could see in the first version they have addressed all the core modules. In the second version, 1610, so they have added a couple of more functionalities. So you can see oil and gas, retail, EWM, AATP has been added here. Likewise, the functionalities are being raised in version by version. But when it comes to the first version, the core modules are all well handled in the initial version itself. So that's what the technical consultant would be checking with this particular tools, when they're checking with the maintenance planner, they're checking for the used business functions, add-ons, and the IS modules, whether it's compatible with this version or not. Then they're checking for custom code analyzer, simplification database. Because see, whenever SAP has come up with a new version, how would we know what has changed? Okay, what is new, what is there, or what has been obsolete? How would we know that? That is, SAP releases a document called as simplification document. Whenever SAP comes with a new version, it's a public document, anyone can download it. So whenever SAP comes with a new version, SAP releases this document. You put simplification list of S/4HANA 1809, right? Like this 2021, every version has this. So whenever SAP comes with a new version, probably in September, October, every year they come with a new version. Then we download this document, we go to the SD area and we check what is new in the current version, anything absolute from the previous version. So that all we check here. Okay. So that's how anyone would be knowing if there is a change or absolute or anything new. So how do we know that? Only through this particular simplification list. So custom code analyzer, that is to read the customer's existing custom code, whether we could take it to the S/4HANA or not, whether the data structures and everything. So that would be analyzed here, and the pre-check analyzer. So this all will be generated as a reports or something like this. Something like this, you could see uh, sales and distribution, credit management. In the last session, we have discussed, and you know what is the impact of that particular credit management, right? It has a high impact because again, we need to completely reconfigure it, right? So sales and distribution, credit management, right? So whatever the areas affecting, you could see here. Then next foreign trade, then next rebates. Right? So the same way, a detailed report also would be generated. Something like this, user tasks and level efforts. SD, credit management, the impact is high. And what all you need to do? Application redesign, customizing, data migration, query. This all we have seen. Then now, today's session we'll see how to handle the credit management, data migration, and everything. Then SD, the foreign trade, impact is very high because there is no foreign trade and it has replaced with GTS. So you need to implement new module called as GTS. Likewise, you see SD, there is no rebates and replaced with settlement management. So your efforts are high. You need to again configure all settlement management, right? So that is how the reports would be generated. And whenever you run this, these are transactions actually. There are many transactions for ABAP. Like how do, when I say these are tools, these are nothing but transactions. They are T codes in the system. Out of that, one very important transaction is SYM. SYCM. So SYCM, what it do, it checks for the custom code and it will implement the simplification, the notes, SAP notes, whatever SAP has given, right? We have also seen at the credit management that there are two notes to be implemented. So how do we implement that notes? That is through this transaction SYCM. And this transaction is not new in SAP. This transaction was there even in ECC. So you could see custom code migration work list. What system is checking? System is checking the customer's existing, because see, whenever we run this tool, system will generate a downloadable file. And that downloadable file system will check against the custom code content in the service marketplace. And basing on that, system will download the relevant nodes and that node has to be applied. So whatever the tools we are mentioning, if you want to further know even about the technical, because we don't need to know about that 40% of technical activities, maybe theoretically we need to know, but if you want to know that even in very detail, you can look into this document in the folder. It's already there. So look into this document so that you could find every tool, what's the purpose, what file it will generate. So everything you will be knowing out of this document. This is a technical document. The 40% what we're talking about, right? This is the technical document. It will first starts with the system requirements. It will check for Unicode or not. So ABAP will do this. And let me show that particular. Yeah, just now I showed you, right? This is how the project starts. Pre-prep phase is first checking the system requirement, maintenance planner, simplification list check, custom code analyzer. So this phase, until this phase, this is still an ECC system. When this will become an S4HANA system, only when you install the S4 application. How do we install the S4 application? That is with a tool called as SUM, Software Update Manager. This is the tool with which we install the S4HANA. So what happens when you do the installation? That is database migration will happen. Your software will get updated from ECC to S4HANA, and data conversion also will happen. So first thing what you need to know is when we say migration project, that doesn't mean we have two systems. Landscape is same, just like ECC, the landscape is same. We have development, quality, and production, all the three. So there is no change in the landscape. But your customer has to replicate the landscape, the production system, and hand out to us so that we can work on S4HANA. There is only one single system called as ECC production system. Okay, that means in the landscape is already there, but when it comes to the conversion project, customers will give a, because S4HANA is also about servers, right? It's not just buying a license from SAP. We should have that compatible servers. So, sorry, your customer will buy the servers and everything and give a replica of this particular. So what we do, how the migration project happens, when I say conversion or migration, there are no two systems like this. This is a ECC system and this is a S4HANA system. So we'll migrate something from the ECC to S4HANA. No, this is not we are trying to do. Okay, there are no two systems. There's only one system, that is ECC system. Whatever the reports we talked until now, sorry, the tools, what we talked until now, that is maintenance planner, code inspector, or anything it is. That's all tools will be run in this particular ECC system. And once we get the reports, then the technical consultants will install S4HANA with SUM. Once they run the SUM, now this system is no more a ECC system. The same ECC production system will become a S4HANA system. So it's a single system. There is no two systems like you have physical two servers, you migrate it. You don't do that. It's only one physical server or one system, that is S4 production, ECC production. But in between this, we have a couple of activities. Before your technical consultants run this SUM, we have an activity. We need to do CVI because we need to convert our customers and we need to do the CVI because once after this, it's S4HANA system and there's no conversion, right? You cannot, there is only business partner. There is no XD01 transaction. There is no FD32 in the credit management, right? So before even doing the SUM, we need to finish certain activities. Under that, one activity for sales is CVI. You need to convert your customers into business partner. That we do it in the same system. Okay, that we do it in the same system. That means your transactions are here, your data is in the same system, everything is in the same system, right? What we are trying to do is we're just updating this system. Okay, we're just only updating the system, that's it. But we are not coming with a new new server or two servers or kind of thing. It's only a single server, and first it's a ECC system. We do all the preparatory activities, then your technical consultants will run SUM, and then the functional consultants will work in the S4HANA system. Right? You understood the sequences? That's what it happens. So it's not two systems like this and you migrate and then it's an S4. We don't take anything from the ECC to S4. Initially, this is an ECC system. We install S4, SUM, and then we make that as a S4 HANA system, right? So let's see the activity is how we convert our customers into business partners. Okay. Any questions before this? Because it's very, very important. Today you go for an interview, the first question would be on the migration project. And the second thing, you need to very well understand the migration project because majority projects, 70%, 80% projects in the market pool is only migration projects. Okay. So you should understand this very well. So I'm talking about the tools right here. So you see this. So you could see all the tools here, like first is system requirement and Unicode or non-Unicode. Once this is done technically, then I was talking about that Java dual stack network system, right? So what happens? So this will create a downloadable file actually. So where you could see that. Okay. The minimum requirement is NetWeaver 7.5 and above. Okay. NetWeaver 7.5 and above. So SAP Fiori, the maintenance planner. So what all maintenance planner will do, you could just check here. Then you could see SFW5 business functions, and system will also check for add-ons like industry specific modules or industry solutions, add-ons, and simplification item checks. What is relevant for this customer in this present version? Then running the simplification check. So this all technically your ABAPers, the technical consultants will be doing this and they will be running lots of reports, custom code analyzer. Once only after this, the functional activities would be activated, right? So you see, as I told you, once this all activity SUM is done, this is also doing the software update at the same time. It will also doing the database migration because our tables and fields are different in the ECC, right? Now in S/4HANA, there is no index tables, there is no aggregate tables, there is no status tables. That are all well taken. We don't need to like do anything manual activity. Let's say you take your checking group, your BBBS table has been absolute because it's an aggregate table. Or why is rebate absolute? Because the highest volume table in the SAP is VBox, the rebate table, and it's an aggregate. It's absolute, right? So they all are well taken care with the S/4HANA data structures, right? So once SUM is done, that means your ECC system, all the reports has been generated, and you are good to go with the S/4HANA. But before installing the S/4HANA, there are a couple of activities I told you. For sales, the activity is CVI, that is convert your customers to business partners in the existing system itself. Let's see how do we do that in the system. This is an ECC 6EHP7 system. We do this activity in the ECC system. We convert our existing customers into vendors, sorry, customers into business partners. What happened? Yeah. So in the existing system, first let me take through the menu part. Even we have a T code for this. Even with the T code, we can just go through this MDS. This is called as master data synchronization, IMG. And in the cross application components, we have master data synchronization. Under this, synchronization of mass data and execute synchronization cockpit. The T code is MDS underscore load underscore cockpit. You can either reach through the screen through T code, or else you could just use the menu path. And what we are trying to do now, we are trying to convert our customers into business partner. So this is relevant, right? So this is blank, and once we double click on this, so you have an option here whether you want to convert one single customer to a business partner or a account group, the whole account group, all the sold to party in one go. You want to convert all the customers from the sold to party into business partners, or even customers with that deletion flag as well. You want to do it. So we have options here, right? So what I'll do is first I'll create one customer, and let's convert that particular customer. This system has some issue, but let me check. In this system, standards are missing. Someone has deleted standards, but let's take some sold to party and do it. Because we just need a customer number, nothing else. Okay, I'll fill only the mandatory fields here. I'll just give a name. I'll say it is customer to BP. I'll put date. I'll just put some random name for the customer, like customer to BP on the 5th May, and I'll fill only the mandatory fields and not everything. And the 01 company code data. There is some issue with this system. Okay, customer number has been created, that is 410. That's it we need anyway. So XT02 410, that's our customer. Anyway, this is also good because if you go with standard, you will never face errors. Okay, and there is one error which you will be facing here if you are going with this option. If you are going with standard, you will not be seeing an error here, but now you'll see some error. We know what is that error as well anyway. When you are creating business partner, and when we extended to company code data, did system throw any error at that time? Anyone? Or system just generated the customer number? Anyone? System threw an error, right? Saying that your CY has not been done, so customer number could not be generated. Okay, the same thing happens here as well. Okay, they just created account group, that is customer, but we haven't done the CVI, right? So that's one issue. If it is a standard account group, that is 001, 001 is already assigned to FLCU 00 in the backend. We'll see in the post processing office. So that's the reason system will not throw any error. But now if I go and run this MDS, system will throw an error, or else system will say that it's converted, but BP number will not be generated. Let me show you. So what I'll do is I'll take a single customer, an individual value, a single value. The customer number is 410. Okay, so execute. Data successfully transferred. That's it. Now if I go and check at the table level, I hope system should not generate this particular BP. So SC16 and the table is BUT, no, CVI. CVI underscore first underscore link and pass on the customer number 410. Yeah, you see, no values found. This is what they're expecting. That is, there is no business partner. Business partner has not been generated for this 41 customer, even though we have run this MDS. Why? Because we haven't done the CVI yet, right? There is no CVI. If not, system would have generated a BPG, right? So we have not done the CVI. So that's the reason the system could not even convert this. So where is that CVI? First, now let's go back and do the CVI. What is the account group we created this customer? One moment. Let us check first which account group we created this customer. This is the right PRC1. Okay, PRC1. So I go to SPRO and IMG. You could do both the activities. You could try with the standard. You could try with the user defined account group. Okay, so that you'll know the difference how it works. So MDS, right? Go to MDS and customer vendor integration. Business partner settings, settings for customer integration, field assignment for customer integration, assign keys, define a number range for customer to BP, right? We are trying to do customer to BP. Yeah, customer to BP. You see, there is no account group assigned to BP grouping. So that's the reason system is throwing an error. So now let's go to the new entries. What is it? This is our account group. Sorry, this is ZPR1. Sorry, this one, ERC1. ERC1, maybe we will take some standard, maybe 201. Same number option. Here itself, you could convert your all the customer numbers to BP numbers with the same. That's to the CVI. 201 is not existing. Actually, that's not the error for us. Let's do some other ERC1, 201, 201. Yeah, 0. Maybe we'll create BR01 as well, stopping this for this BR01 for W less than equal to 0002. BR01 itself is not available. Well, system. Use identify number. Just a moment. Let me delete all the other stuff. So you'll not face this many errors, or you will not face these errors. This system is like having issues, so that's the reason you're first keying these all steps or errors. What system is doing? If not, we'll never see this in errors. Only for me to use grouping 004 with identical numbers. What's this? This system is completely messed up. One moment. Mm, Just a moment. Let me get into a different server and check if I go to it in that. Let me log into a different server. One moment, everyone. Just trying to log into a different server. This server is not working. The server is not working. Let me check if I could fix the error here itself. This one. So what is saying? It's BP grouping, right? So BP grouping number, which identical numbers. You are permitted to use BP 004. What's wrong here? 04. Internal standard external. It has to be internal. Mark plus 02. Mark plus external 09. Probably we'll change the account group and see. We'll change it to 03. Now it should work. CVA. Customer to BP. Right. Triple 01. Yeah, the standards are missing actually in the system, so the system keeps asking for that standard. It's not available actually. Account group 01 is missing actually. It's stopping because the standards are missing. The 0001 are applicable. So what we'll do here, because there are dependencies with this in the previous maintenance, so that's the reason system is stopping. So what I'll do is, mm, okay, let's come back here and let us delete these rows and check. No, it's not. No, that's not exist. Okay, we'll do one thing. Let me fix this server and probably in the next session I could run this and show you. We'll convert it. Okay, we'll convert this and we'll see it in the table level as well, how it will happen, because we know the process step by step what happens. As I mentioned, like here where we'll face the error. So once after this, what we do is we run a report going through SE38. There is a report, same like cust underscore when report input. There is a report which we need to run, and it takes us to the post-processing office, and that's where we execute it. We'll do one thing. This activity again in the next session when we go with the new implementation. I'll show you this activity because the server itself is completely compromised. So we need to reinstall the server and then we'll execute this particular activity. But this activity we do it in the ECC server before we even install S4HANA. First we convert our customers. That means we do the CBA activity and complete. Then once the CBA activity is completed, and other modules as well, once they are done with all the activities, now SVM and your software is installed. Now this system is a S4HANA system. S4HANA system, and there is no customers now, it's only business partner. That means that the highest level business partner, excellent customer has been converted already to customer, and this is existing. So the next what we do, we go to the S4HANA system. Okay. So as it is S4HANA system, we need to log into the SPRO cockpit. So let me show you that. Let me log into S4HANA system. desktop. Yeah, remote desktop. So this is S4HANA system. So once CUA activity is done, that is and SUM is installed, no more ECC system. The existing system itself is converted as a S4HANA system. And then we log into the S4HANA system and go to the migration cockpit, that is SPRO. Under this, we have conversion of accounting. As I told you, nowhere you will see called as logistics. There is no simple logistics at all. It's only a simple finance system. Okay, so conversion of accounting to SAP HANA. There are 3 steps here. One is preparations and data migration and activities after migration. So there are 3 steps here. The first step is preparations and migration customizing. And what all the activities you see here, this should be in the sequence. As I already told you, migration project is considered as migration of GLs, right? So everything starts with the GL migration. Okay. So nowhere we'll talk about sales in the project. Nowhere we talk about the sales or logistics kind of thing. Everything you see, all the steps, actual engine or asset accounting, and this all should be in the same sequence. It's not that SD, I'll go and first do my credit management. Not possible. Only after all these activities we could do the credit management thing. Even if I show you here, let's say the preparations and here customize, check customizing settings prior migration. If I execute this, you could see here migration pre-check customer for simple finance system, SFIN migration, simple finance, and it is all checking for GLs, right? GL postings are integrated design, right? So everywhere you see only a migration of finance, but nothing like logistics. Major activities of finance. So what is the first preparation and migration customization? What we do here, that is credit management. So as a sales, we have only 2 activities in the migration project. One is CVI. First, we do it in the ECC system, and then your S4HANA is installed. And when your S4HANA installed, then we come to this screen that is called as migration cockpit. In this, we have another activity, credit management. These are only the 2 activities what we have in the migration. The rest all activities are either what we are learning the concepts, delta changes, which we need to do again in the same landscape like dev system, quality and production. But in the migration, the second activity is only credit management. So in this step, what we do is we have a couple of steps here, but we don't need all the steps in the credit management migration. This is only the step which is relevant, the second one, what you see here, because what all the steps we are seeing here, this is when you have your FSCM in the ECC landscape itself, in the old ECC landscape itself. If you have your FSCM system, then you need to go with every activity. Okay, you need to go with every activity. But if you are using ECC credit management and now you are using the FSCM SD integration, then only the second step is enough. So let's go click on the documents and see what the system says. So you could see here in this activity, you migrate your FIAR component. That is nothing but your ECC, that is SDFI integration we have, right? So FIAR component, this will be converted to SAP Credit Management. As I already told you, wherever you see SAP Credit Management, that is nothing but FSCM Credit Management, right? So in this activity, what's happening? The credit management in the ECC will be converted to FSCM Credit Management, right? And you see system also checking, and you see system also checks whether a migration of credit management setting is necessary. What is this? What is this? This is system is also checking whether you have FSCM already in your existing ECC landscape, and even that migration you have to do or not. That's what this is checking, right? When you execute this activity, system also checks if you have an FSCM component in the ECC itself, and whether you want to migrate that as well or not. But that is not relevant for us. For us, relevant is only FIR component is converted to SAP Credit Management. Once this is done, what happens? From credit control areas to credit segments, as we know, highest org unit is credit segment. So now we'll have a credit segment. And for every credit control area, a new credit segment is assigned with the same ID, right? And your configurations are also updated with OVA8, right? So everything happens only with this execution. Okay, you execute this activity that is in the pre-preparation, this one step that will be enough to convert your complete credit management in the ECC to S4HANA, and that itself will take care of migration of your configurations, and everything will be taken care. This one step, right? Then next is data migration, because if you remember at the time of credit management also we have learned that what all we need to take care in the migration project. One is configurations, then next is decision data, and then next is exposure. What is the current credit limits of the customers, and decisions like what are the blocking documents and everything. So the second activity is data migration. So we also discussed that there is no index tables, there is no aggregate tables, there is no status tables. Do that mean all this has been absolute from the system? No. Okay, they are not been completely taken away from the system. Okay, they are still existing in the system. Okay, so nothing has been taken out of the system. They are still there in the system. In the activities after migration, we can see that as well. They have been converted into CDS and still there in the system. But when it comes to the data migration, again, even in the data migration, you see all the activities, only the activity for is credit management migration. Okay, only the activity is credit management migration. And when we go to this credit management migration, we'll have three activities here. What are the three activities? Just know what we have spoken. That is, one is master data. That is nothing but your FD32, because there is no FD32, right? It is the UKM_BP. So your credit master data has to be taken care. Then your credit exposure data and your credit decision data. All these three has to be converted. And for this all, we also have something called a status as well. It will also show the status. So first it starts with the credit management master data, which is nothing but converting your FD32 to, that means once you execute this activity, you cannot execute this activity in the training systems anyway, but once you execute this activity, what happens? From now on, you use transaction UKM_BP. There is no FD32. Okay. So in SAP S4HANA master data, and the master data migration is done for the credit control area. So everything is converted, and from now on, how do we access credit management master data? It is a UKM_BP, but not FD32, right? This is the first activity, that is converting our master data. The next is exposure, credit exposure. So here what happens? This migration execution too, so there is credit values of open orders, deliveries are migrated to credit exposures. And this all you could access through UKM_BP. Okay, the sales, delivery, open orders, open items, everything you could access through UKM_BP. Whatever is there in the FD32. Okay, it's a single transaction, but everything individually we have to do it. And the last one is DCDs. There is credit decision, any blocked or unblocked transactions. So sales and delivery documents blocked by credit management are managed with different transactions, right? That is UKM underscore my underscore DCDS. Okay, UKM underscore my underscore DCDS. That is a transaction to access this particular blocked transaction so that you could manage them. But else we also have something called as case management, which is accessed to UKM underscore case, and this is a transaction case management. Even with that, you can handle your blocked transactions. So these are the three activities which we need to perform when it comes to the data migration. One is master data, one is credit exposure data, and the other one is decision data. So these are the activities in the data migration. The last activity is activities after migration. So as I told you, no data has been taken away out of the system. They're still existing in the system because you need to run the consistency, right? If you migrate and you have taken the old reports or Z codes or anything it could be, so you need to have a consistency check. So nothing has been taken away from the system. It's still there in the system. You see, transfer application indexes. If you go here, it will tell you in this customers activity, you transfer your application indexes to the database cold area. Okay, to reduce the main memory, you are just moving it to the database cold area. So nothing has been taken away of the system. It's still there in the system. You can do the consistency checks as well. So again, even in this activity, activities after migration, even when it comes to the activities after migration, there is only one activity here. That is again credit management. You see, manual activities for credit management for unmigrated customers. So after what are the activities we performed, if there is still any customer incomplete, complete credit management migration for unmigrated customers. So if you want to do it manually, then you could do it manually. You could run this and what all you need to migrate, you could also check that. Right? So this is what we do in the migration cockpit. So when it comes to the sales, that is SD, these are only the activities. So this is a one complete set of document, config document. And when you go to this document, you will be seeing this document is of close to 130 pages. And out of 130 pages, this document, 90 pages talks only about finance. Okay, only from the page 90, you will see logistics activity. And you see, yeah, page number 90, logistics starts and ends at somewhere 130 page. So up to 78, 90 page, it's only finance. So more of finance. And you could see in these activities, what are our activities? One is credit management, which we just discussed now. And the other activity is CVI. CVI is for anyway both, right? For customer and vendor it is. So we also have this activity. And specifically to the sales, the activity is credit management migration. So these are only the two activities what we have in the migration project. So now let me again take you back to this particular screen and tell you how this works. So when it comes to the migration project, it starts with technical consultants analyzing the customer's existing ECC system, running various tools and get the reports. And basing on the reports, they take a call like what all to migrate and everything. So once the technical activity is done, we have certain activities to do before even the ECC system is converted to S/4HANA system. From the SD sales point of view, that is CVI. We need to finish our CVI activity. Then this system will be converted to S/4HANA system with SUM, and then there is no ECC system. The same system, only single system, will be converted to S/4HANA system. There is no two systems, ECC separate and S/4HANA system. And see, in this S4 system, already we have all the customers' data, open transactions, and everything is available. So CVI is already done, and credit management, we have to do it going to the migration cockpit, right? And anything else, like it could be output via BRF players or AATP or any changes. you need to do it in the same landscape like dev, transport it, quality and assurance, and then transport to the production system. Okay, any delta changes. Okay, so you do it here and you transport it. Right. So this is how the support project works and activities for a sales consultant in the support project, or sorry, in the migration project or conversion project. Okay, so this is for today. So the conversion activity, MDS, whatever we missed today, in the next session I'll show you. It will not take more than 5-10 minutes. Once we get this refresh server, we'll execute this in the system and we'll see this. Yeah, so there is no cutover activity here because already everything is available in the existing system itself. Cutover activity is only in the new implementation, and the tools we use is LTMC and LTMOM. In migration project or conversion, there is no cutover activities. Yeah, so this is for today. Any questions, please go ahead.
CVI and the credit
So,
management is also done in the production server, no?
Yes. Yeah. Any other question?
What is the duration for migration project?
The maximum can be anything, but the least can be you can go live within 6 weeks. Okay, the least we can go is 6 weeks. So in this duration, customer is still using their systems because, as I told you, these are a new landscape which is created and hand out to us. But customers already ECC landscape is existing and they'll be working on it. There is no downtime here, so customers will start using it. And this is the replica of the existing landscape, because when they go for S/4HANA, they obviously need to buy the server. So customer has to hand over the replica systems. Yeah. Any other questions, please?
How do we need to check that FSCM is available in the ECC or not?
In the migration you're saying? No, that will be decided at the in the initial phase itself by the technical consultants when they run this particular, right? So system is checking for add-on modules and system is checking for new dimensional industry specific. There itself, system will generate a report that what all the modules are there in this particular existing landscape. We don't need to do that in the technical system itself. That would be there. You see here, what is this particular system checking here? Checks for used business functions, add-ons, and IS modules, right? Add-ons is nothing but any other module. So here, when you run the maintenance planner itself, the technical itself, system will show you a list, what all modules are there in this particular project. Yeah. So any other questions?
Can you upload previous videos and as well as these videos as soon as possible?
Yeah, definitely I'll do it. So I'll be free by today. I have a little occupied with some work in the last couple of days. I'll be free by today, and tomorrow definitely you could see the videos and everything. And I hope I shared the server access, right?
No, not yet.
not yet, sir.
Sorry about that. In the next 10 minutes, please check, you'll get the server access. Okay. Yeah, so good everyone, and catch up next weekend. Next weekend, we'll take up two concepts, that is a new implementation, and maybe we'll discuss one more, that is miscellaneous changes, as I told you, which is not even documented in the simplification list. That we'll take up next weekend. So good everyone, and catch up next weekend. Good everyone. Bye-bye.